Hey all, this is Mith from Millenial Fantasy. In this video we continue the World of Warcraft Refugees look at Eden's Gate with the second fight, Descent. Firstly, I want to tell you that I highly appreciate all the interest I got for last fight's video. It really means a lot to me, so thanks to all of you. This is my actual second attempt at this fight. It actually went much better than the fight of the last video, so I changed the death counter into a screw up counter. Please consider liking, subscribing and hitting that bell icon. If you have any feedback about this format of video, please let me know in the comments below. Without further ado, let's get into it. There we go. Alright, so as I said in the intro, this is the actual second attempt I did for this fight. So that means that we're not showing the cinematic at this point. And it also means I'm doing a little bit better than I did in the last video, which will be really a thing. And you'll notice that instead of a death counter, we'll have a screw up counter that we'll sort of use to give you guys tips about what you could do to learn from my mistakes. But as I said before, even though this is my second attempt, the actual first attempt I did for this actually went pretty well as well. At least I didn't die, let's put it this way. I think I did more damage in this attempt, which I'm not measuring yet, but I need to. So let's get into the mechanics here. You just saw like a line of stuff around, and obviously you need to get out of the line. And after that line you saw these sort of bats moving around. If you get hit by one of the bats, it's bad, so don't get hit by the bats. And here you need to stack up close to the boss, and then there's another sort of cross of bats coming into the boss, right? So you need to go out of it. So I'm sort of standing around trying to do as good damage as I can in my ley line circle. We see another black mage to the right here. I didn't, like I said, I should start measuring my damage because I'm not really sure if I'm doing decently at this point. Here we have a marker above our head. This is one of those typical get out of stuff markers, right? So the marker is on top of your head, and as you move, the marker moves with you. So you need to get out of the rest from the group so don't get hurt. That marker over there was a stack up marker. As you see, I'm way too late. So yeah, that's definitely a screw up for my part. Now this is an interesting mechanic, is that the delayed spell mechanic comes into play. So you have all these different stuff that happens. So now we have the markers again, but this time it's delayed. So when the marker leaves, it doesn't actually explode yet, but you have this additional timer and it takes a while until it explodes. At this point it's pretty trivial, right? But once you get further into fights, you get all these interesting overlaps that you need to take care of. So I'll show you in the end of the fight. Here we have another delayed marker, and this one is the stack up marker. So here we need to actually stack up past the time that the marker is gone, but you need to wait and sort of remember what it is at this point. I mean, as I said, it's a bit trivial for this kind of mechanics, but later in the fight it gets more interesting. The feeling I do have with this fight though is that the last time I did it, I have the feeling it went much quicker, probably due to the damage our group puts out. And it's probably partly me, because I probably got carried on the last attempt, but I have the feeling that this time it might be the rest of the group as well for a bit. So here we have two delayed markers going out at the same time, right? And the guys in the back know what they're doing, so they are standing away from the group while the rest of us is stacking on top of the marker that should be the stack marker thing. And now we just keep on, you know, DPSing down. We have some AoE damage, and here there's this scary looking arm thing, and you see all these arrows going over the platform, which means there will be a pushback towards the direction of the arrows, right? So you need to not get knocked off and stand on one side of the platform, so then you move in the side of the arrows. Here it happens again, so you don't get knocked off the platform. But during the second arrow phase, there's these bats as well, so you need to sort of look where you're going. Here we need to stack on top of the boss because you see this nasty red circle around, right? And there's another spawning of bats. Unfortunately, I put my ley lines right next to the boss. It's not too bad, but I could have done that a bit better, right? So yeah, I think the Shadow Flame cast, obviously I'm not a tank, but I have the feeling it's a tank buster sort of mechanic, maybe going towards 2, and the entropy cast is actually like an AoE thing for healers, so make sure you watch out for that one. There you see everyone's getting quite a bit of the healing. Now you see these to the left, you see, I actually didn't notice it while it was playing, I only see it now because I'm doing it afterwards. You see these black circles there with things on top of them, And you need to soak those. I remember that from World of Warcraft. You had these soak mechanics, right? So you need to stand on like a platform thing. And afterwards, if no one is there, then the entire raid will get some damage. So here we have another stack marker for the delayed stacking, which I'm probably running out of at the moment. Oh, I'm actually still on time. There we go. That's good. So that's the Unholy Darkness, right? And then now you get the delayed cast of the actual AoE circles thing. But unfortunately, like the rest of my group actually knows what they're doing. Now I see the hand that's going to push me away on the other side of the platform. So I run there. And I noticed that there was a circle where I'm standing right now. So I try to align that pushback to the circle I want to stand on, and then I can actually help my group by doing stuff. I do get this Diabolic Curse debuff. I'm not really sure, still not sure what that's doing, but we can try. And you already see that the boss is at 32% at this point, but at this point the mechanics actually really start to overlap, right? So I have one of those eyes, which is a typical gaze mechanic, and that means... but this one is instead of on the boss, which is normally it's on one of the players. So you need to look away from the person that has that eye, and then nothing will happen. If you do look at the person that has the eye, you get petrified, I think, in this case. But now to the back, right, in the corner, you see the eye, but in a delayed form. So we're waiting for that countdown to start, and then afterwards we can actually focus on not looking towards him. We had another line and another bats, and now we have to stack up on top of the boss again. We're at 23%, so we're pretty close. We have another bat spawn. You know, this entire sequence of abilities is something he's done about 2 or 3 times now, so that's pretty clear. At this point, we're doing another AoE mechanic. I'm trying to do my rotation as much as possible. I'm trying to weave in my instant cast a bit more efficiently at this point. Which I think is going decently, but again, I should start measuring my DPS because I have no clue how I'm doing. We have another hand spawn. Unfortunately, that's when my ley lines is spawning, and we have one of those stack markers. I actually do not know if no, the stack marker was delayed, so I was being confused there. I stand in the soak area last moment to actually be sure to get that one, and then we have, I believe we have a stack marker over there behind the boss. But I'm being, you know, I'm being a bit weird here and not standing behind the boss. And there's the stack marker. There's the delayed stack marker that actually tries to... I should be behind the boss at this point, but I'm not. I'm not. And now you see in the edges of the room, you see the delayed AoE markers, right? So those are the AoE circles that are gonna blow up. But that's decent at this point. So this... You see the guy spawning in the bottom left there. I was actually really confused by that, but I think it's a machinist thing, but I'm not sure. And I was like, oh my god, is that a new mechanic that I haven't seen before? But now we have the standard sequence of the line, but now we have the hand as well, right? So you need to watch out that when you get knocked back, you don't get knocked back in one of the bats. And then you need to stack up towards the boss again. So now we're getting really close to the end. I actually have one more screw up for you guys. I already noticed beforehand. But you see that marker over there, that eye? I was too late turning around there. I thought I'm gonna finish my cast, turn around really quickly, then turn back to the boss. But no, unfortunately I'm gonna end this fight as a rock. Oh well, such as that. I must say, guys, this fight is really cool. It's a bit less aesthetically pleasing as the last one. I said that so many times last time. But hopefully, you know, you guys enjoyed this review as well. And I'll see you guys for the next fight. Take care.